Hi, folks. You are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in the heartbeat of the San Gabriel Valley. That gentleman that with his company T-shirt on is
Falconer in warm Los Angeles, California.
yeah. It's we're finally warming up here,
Warming
folks.
up.
It's going to get warmer tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right now we're a little below 80. But that's good. It feels nice to be able to dry out from all the rain we've had.
Absolutely.
Now, this is really the coolest part of this whole thing. Skip and I are going to be tasting and dissecting. You may have seen this tequila already online. It's making a big splash. It's called Paladar.
Paladar,
which means palate. So it's for those of you who have distinct taste. All right. Those of you who are distinguished. I love the name. Look at the packaging. Now, this is what's weird.
Yeah.
This is what's weird. It's got like this spongy kind of dark thing at the bottom of the bottle. It looks like it's done by hand. And what's it supposed to be?
It's volcanic soil that I guess the plant is grown in.
Yeah. Now, you and we did a tasting of the Drifter spicy margarita.
Yes.
And if you folks have not seen that video, we did it last year. We loved it. I think that was Skip. That was your first RTD, the first ready to drink.
It was.
And on the back, now here's what happened. Most often the cans will have, if it's canned in the United States, it won't have a NOM number. And if it's canned in Mexico, because the facility has a canning facility, it'll have a NOM number, just like this one does, like a bottle of tequila.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the NOM number on their can. However, they were transparent, completely transparent, and they said that they used Paladar Tequila Blanco that they were going to roll out. And they said where it was made, and they gave the name of the distillery. For those of you who are fans of a NOM number, and we always mention that. What's the NOM number, Skip?
1109.
1109, and that is Tequila Arete de Jalisco. Arete, folks. Look it up. Those of you who are old school, tell me if you're a collector or if you're a connoisseur or just been a long time fan of tequila, you know what Tequila Arete is. It's we'll read you all the ins and outs later, but if you're not familiar with it, it is one of the oldest. It is being produced by one of the oldest tequila making families in Mexico.
Yeah.
I've been to Tequila Arete. This was years ago. It's a tiny distillery. There's a couple of other ones that exist. I believe there's one other one that's a little bit larger from another family member of the Orandine family. They make Ollitas. They make Gran Orandine. Their tequila is stellar. So I just broke the seal off of this one. I've been a fan of that family for so long. At one point, I met Jaime Orandine years ago here in LA. It was a function that I went to, and he even bought me a drink of his own tequila.
Oh.
So, yeah, I believe he was president of the CRT at one point, or CNIT, one of the two. And so anyway, when I read that on Drifter on the can, I said, I gotta have your Blanco. And it's been a year later, and we finally got it. Yeah. So it's been a year. So Skip and I just broke the seal. Take a look at this. Right off the bat, I want to nominate it for Brand of Promise in the packaging, because it's very unique. It's very unique I've never seen it with the emulating the soil. They're imitating the soil. The bottles are recycled glass. Okay. And look at that old school look, man. That's a real cork. And that's an old school, that's an old school thing, man, right there. Oh my. Oh my.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna pour our Blanco. We only have the Blanco. I understand there's a Reposado, right, Skip?
Yes, there is, and I can't wait another year to get that.
Yeah, I don't want to wait another year, guys. So I'm gonna get back to that guy, their PR company who made this happen. I really appreciate this. It took forever to get it. Oh, look at that. Lingering bubbles on the pour, Skip.
Yes, yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my. Oh my. This is a real cork. I think it's part real and part composite, which is kind of nice. I
Yeah.
would imagine that they would be if they're using recycled material, so that way there's a lower carbon footprint. And that's a good cork, by the way. Some of these corks we've seen, the knobs don't stay on and they have to be glued on and whatever. But what are you seeing, Skip? Tell me what you see.
Oh, it's very clear, very shiny.
Yeah, I must have all the TJs saying the same thing. I had a tasting yesterday of another Blanco with Araceli, and she goes, "It's shiny." It's like I think every TJ, we got 13 TJs on our staff on our crew, and they're all saying, "Hey, Mike, it's shiny." That's like
The legs and ears are beautiful, man.
the legs and tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing is we didn't get any information as far as point of sale material, no sell sheet, no brochure, none of that. Didn't get any swag either, but that's okay. I don't care about the swag.
Yeah.
But it's labeled very much like the mezcal bottles these days, where it gives you all the information you want to know on the back of the label.
Right on the back of the label.
Yep.
Right on the back of the label was a brick oven cooked, open air fermentation.
In what?
And pine.
In pine.
In pine.
Oh my God. And I can't, the nose on it was very, very pretty.
And they're using wild and proprietary yeast.
See, if it's wild, if they're saying wild, then what they have done is they've done the same thing that El Tesoro has been doing for years. When they say wild proprietary, that means that they're making the yeast from their own plants, and they keep that. They keep that in the labs. So that is what they're using. They're not buying yeast. They're not throwing in bread yeast. They're not using champagne yeast. It's the same yeast that they have produced from their plants, which adds to the flavor and the end, right? It will affect the flavor profile,
right?
And not that the other yeasts are bad. Some of the companies use yeast as an accelerant. Others use it as an ingredient for flavor. Plus it does speed up the process. And others just they dump bread yeast because they got to crank it out. So, wow, what are we getting on the nose?
On the nose, man, it's very muted.
Well, it's taken a while to open up.
Yeah.
My bottle's been sitting on my living room floor. My bottles, because they missent a couple of bottles, and I just now opened it. And you got yours just recently. You got yours like the other day, I think, right?
Yeah, the other day. Yeah.
Now, what I'm getting is citrus. I'm getting some citrus notes.
A lot of citrus. Yeah. A little bit of alcohol.
Yeah. In the center of the glass, if you inhale with your mouth closed, you get the alcohol burn. Well, not burn. All right, let me rephrase that. You get the smell of alcohol, which is what it's doing. It's presenting the aromas, and the aromas I'm getting right now are mainly citrus. I'm getting like lime, and it's almost deeper than that, Skip. I'm getting like orange or grapefruit. It's leaning to grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Oh, now it's opening up.
Yes.
Now, see, now I get a little bit of anise. It's changing. It's evolving in the glass.
Yeah.
And I know that we do this a lot, folks. There's let me put it to you this way. The reason we spend so much time on the nose is because depending on who you're reading, what science book you read, your sense of taste is anywhere between 70 to 80% based on your nose. People don't know that. That's why when you look at us, you look at Skip and me, and this is a technique that I teach a lot of the TJs, that, we inhale with our mouth open, because it's almost like you can taste it before you ingest it, right?
You drink it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the anise, it was just brief, but it was like on this side, I was getting, but at the bottom of the liquid. Again, it was just at the bottom. It was primarily citrus is what I was getting.
I'm getting a little minerality also.
Well, considering that they put the volcanic soil on the bottle, by the way, I don't think that's real volcanic soil. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's styrofoam. I don't know. It doesn't flake off or come off on your hands. It doesn't crumble up on your pants if you keep, the bottle on like I do on my lap.
Right.
I don't know what that is, but it's really very unique.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it. I like the it's a very simple bottle, but it's very unique branding. They're trying to tell you that this company, this tequila is no joke, because it's being made the old school way.
Right.
So
shall we go in?
I think we shall, yeah, because it opens up a little bit more once we take our first, and we're not gonna, we're gonna take the first sip and maybe not tell you too much about it, because we're just priming the pump, folks. That's the first sip is always, iffy. And then the second one is where you're getting the most. So here we go. Salud. Well, it's got a nice long finish. Whoa. Just before I took that first sip, I got that hit of anise again. Just brief, right before it went into my mouth.
Yeah. There's a nice spiciness on the front end.
Yeah.
And there's a nice sweet at the back end.
Right, to the rear and the sides of your tongue.
To the rear and the sides of your mouth. Yeah. This is very good. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot bolder than I thought it would be. Again, that's my first sip.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I had a tequila yesterday from Arandas, and it was much more floral than the normal tequilas that we get from Arandas. And it was not floral. It was more fruity.
Mm-hmm.
More green and more fruity, and it didn't have this kind of spiciness. Not that was a bad tequila. That was just another style of tequila, and the way they were making it. This one's got some good spiciness up front, and we said that with the drifter, the spicy margarita. We really enjoyed it because not only was it spicy, but you could taste the juice in the margarita.
Yes. Yeah.
And I can see why they use this base. This is the base juice that goes into that RTD. You should pick up that RTD. We loved it. Loved it. You could it comes in a 4-pack, I think, and it's amazing.
Right. And you can taste it, the cooked agave.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mm. It's earthier with more minerals. You notice that?
Yes.
And I think it finishes drier too, because of the minerality. You're going to get a drier finish.
Yeah, that time the minerality came out even more.
Yeah, on the second pass, right?
On the second pass, yeah.
I love this. I got to tell you, I know a lot of folks prefer, the tequilas that come out of the out of the Golden Triangle, the highlands. I think this is a valley. I don't know where they're getting. I don't know where they're getting their agave. I don't know if it says that or not. But I really enjoy tequilas from the valley, from El Valle, which I consider not necessarily the lowlands, but kind of between. It's right somewhere in a Matitan. I love tequilas from a Matitan. I love them because I love the minerality. You get the minerality from the sand, the soil, and the water. This one's got
the finish is medium to long. It's a nice finish.
Yeah, and the more passes you have, the longer that finish gets.
Yeah, and there is a nice mouthfeel.
Yeah, well, you can tell by the legs and tears that it's going to have a substantial body. It's got great body, great structure, and it really lingers on the palate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so I know you did some research on it. How old are these plants?
7 years.
I believe it. I believe it because I know I've been
7
to
years.
Tequila Arete. I was there several years back on our first tour of tequila distilleries. That was the story. I don't know if I've told you the story, but people have heard me tell the story of where I walked across the street where they have their barrel room. And they opened up these doors and I get hit with the smell of wood, and I was such a newbie. I said, añejo, and it was, it's a brick building, and it was stacked to the rafters with barrels, and their climate control was wetting down the cement. During the hot weather, they'd wet down the cement, but they kept the doors locked and chained up because you don't want to lose a barrel at that tequila, man. And that was the barrel room.
The agave is coming out.
It is now. It's opening, huh?
Now that it's opening up,
and it's a lot sweeter on the nose now. Now it's opening.
It is. Up. Yeah.
You notice that? So am I wrong? Are you getting anise, or are you getting like fennel? It's like a fennel anise kind of a dual thing.
Yes, it's more fennel now.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is no joke, folks. This is an old school tequila. This is up there. I'll put it up there. Again, they're one of the founding families of tequila, the Orendain family. I mean, Ojitas is classic tequila. Gran Orendain is that step above. And I've only had the core line of Gran Orendain. I've never even had anything that they've done with extra añejos, and I'm sure it's tremendous. But
well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a third pass.
Yeah, I will join you. On the retronasal, Skip, I get way more minerality. Oh, you disappeared. What happened? Skip, come back. Skip, come back. We lost Skip. Well, that happens. I don't know why. Maybe he'll join us. Let me pause this and see what happens. We got him back, folks. Skip
my goodness, I don't know what happened.
Hey, you know what? We are at the mercy of the internet. That's why we call it sipping off the cuff. We were just about to kind of wrap this up. Skip, read the back of the label, because this is what I love about mezcal, is that everything you need to know is on this label. So go ahead, go for it.
Okay, the agave varietal Blue Weber yeast, blend of wild and proprietary. The fermentation vat, pine.
It's pine, just like mezcal, folks.
Pine.
El Tesoro.
And it's distilled twice in the alembic copper stainless steel blend.
Okay, so it's alembic, alembique, and that's the Spanish version of alembic.
Alembique.
Alembique. It's a alambique copper and stainless steel blend. So I think when they say alambique copper, that's interesting because I've seen stainless steel with a copper wire, but I'm not sure if that's what they mean. Because usually when they talk about alambique copper, it's a copper still. So we're getting a lot of that. The copper does lend an extra layer of complexity to a Blanco and to other expressions. And the cask, this
stainless steel.
Stainless steel. It's just pretty much a silo where when they're done with it, it just stays there and they let it rest for. Some producers will let it just settle because tequila that comes out of the still can be very capricious. It'll when you agitate it, even in delivery, like when it comes from the border to wherever the distribution, a lot of brand owners and distillers will wait until it settles before it's being delivered to their customers. Because Blanco Tequila she changes her mind a lot. And you've seen how it opens up on our bottles, right?
Right.
Now, let me read you this blurb right here. This is the final part, and then we'll wrap this up. From the last of the independent founding families of tequila, which is the Orandine family, Paladar is an homage to the traditions of Mexico. We harvest Blue Weber agave from our own fields, which slow cooks in brick ovens and open-air pine box fermentation in wild and proprietary yeast. That sounds a lot like El Tesoro, man. That's Each batch of Paladar is twice distilled in a copper and stainless steel pot blend. So it's a combination machine, combination alembic still. We celebrate this product of the earth with each bottle hand dipped in the volcanic soil of our agave fields. So this is really their soil?
Yeah, that's what they say.
But it doesn't flake off. It doesn't like come off, or how do they get it to stick? I mean, look at it.
That's a good question. It does. It is. It's on there nicely.
Yeah, it feels like you've had enough bottles delivered to you by now, so you kind of get a feel of the it feels like styrofoam or something, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Hey, more power to them. I love it. I think it's a brand of promise nominee in that Blanco category.
I think so too.
Hey, man.
And I think
love
they
it. And
should
look
get
at
that reposado out to us ASAP.
Yes, absolutely. I will make it a point to grab them and let them know we loved it. It's a great. Now, folks, if you've had Paladar, which is now beginning to make its way around distribution channels, if you've had it, let us know. Leave us a comment down below. Tell us what you're doing with it. Skip, could you put this in a cocktail? I think it would stand up.
I think it would stand up nice in a Mexican Moscow, a Mexican Mule.
Oh, Mexican Mule.
I think it would do well in the Mexican Mule.
I think they are being imported by a company in Fort Worth, Texas. So chances are, if you're doing ranch waters, and people in Texas understand what that is, that's just tequila, maybe some ice, Topo Chico or something, or sparkling soda, and a wedge of lime, and you're done.
The Mexican Mule is with ginger beer.
Oh, ginger beer. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Ginger beer, lemon juice.
You're gonna have to make me one of those. You're gonna have to make me one of those when I come over next time. Do you serve it in like a copper cup? Because I think
yes.
Because I think there's two drinks. One's a mint julep, is usually served in like a canister of copper. And mules are like copper cups, I think.
Yeah, I have the copper cup.
Oh, you dog. Okay, well, it's a date. You're gonna have to make me one of these.
Yeah. They're good, and I think it would do well in a margarita.
You know what else? A Paloma. I think it's got enough character in that Blanco and enough minerality. As a matter of fact, if you do the ranch water, some people like to throw like a pinch of salt. You could salt this with a pinch of salt on it, and it would taste fine. It would do really well. It'll stand up. There's the reason why or if not, go get yourself some Drifter spicy margarita.
Yeah, there you go.
That because you know what, it'll hold up to spiciness. I mean, pepper spiciness.
Yeah.
That's how good this tequila is. So again, made by the Orendine family, you can't go wrong. What do we have a price point, Skip?
We got anywhere from Total Wine has it $47.49. I don't know where that 49 cents come from.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then it goes all the way up to $58.99 for the Blanco. 47.49 to 58.99. It's anywhere in between there.
Yeah, so if you can get it for a cheaper price, maybe Total Wine would be your thing.
Total Wine, yeah.
But I gotta tell you, if you're using this much quality and coming out of that particular distillery is where they're making it. It is smaller batches. It's a smaller distillery. It's not the bigger one that they use the Grand Orendine out of, but where they make arete. If you love arete, you're paying some prime dollars for arete. This is no joke here.
Would you do any kind of cigar with it?
With the Blanco, no, but I want to try the Repo.
Yeah,
I want to try the Repo. There's more minerality with this Blanco. It doesn't have the smokiness or anything that I'm looking for. If I were to pair, there are other tequilas that maybe if it came in a higher ABV, maybe like a 90, where it gave a little bit more of that earthiness. Yes. I could find a cigar that would go with it. Right now, what I would do is just, drink it neat. That's what I would do.
I've had some cigar friends come over, and I've given them, well, not this, but some Blancos, and I didn't think cigars would go good with Blancos, but they really enjoy it.
Yeah, I years ago I wrote an article that's still available on their website for Cigar Advisor on pairing Blanco tequilas with cigars. So I'll have to send you that link. I don't think you've ever read it.
No.
The link is available on our website as well, folks, if you're familiar with that. But it's something I thought of years ago. And now with mezcal, that since I wrote that article, mezcal has been making a big inroad. There's no reason why you can't pair a good mezcal with a cigar.
Yeah.
And with tequilas, it was still possible even back then. So I don't, now you got me thinking. I might have to experiment because there's enough minerality in this that it may stand up, but my cigar is going to have to be really light.
Yeah.
I don't. If I took a bold cigar, it would clash, I think.
Okay.
In my opinion. But your friends probably know more than I do because I'm lucky if I do one cigar a month. Okay, so but that's our take on Paladar Tequila, folks. If you've had it, let us know what you're doing with it. Leave us a comment, give us a like, share it with all your other Blanco Tequila aficionados, and tell us what you're doing with it. If you're putting it in the cocktail or whatever. But that's our take. Thanks for listening to us on the podcast, and whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.